Hello everyone, I'm back with another quick streaming review for you. Well, it's a film, but it's a second part and it's only available on streaming. As far as I know, it's not in the theaters, so streaming review, and it is Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths, Part 2. Yeah, so the sequel to the first part, which was pretty cool. If you like the first part, I think you'll like the second part as well, as it's the middle, and there will be a third part with plenty of interesting surprises that have been announced that I won't say. But yes, I will not be spoiling anything here about part two, but I do need to talk about part one, of course. So part one was well, so far so good. It's an interesting adaptation of the groundbreaking and industry changing event of the mid 80s, which was a 12 issue maxi series of Crisis on Infinite Earths by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. And you can get those reprints today at your local comic book shop, actually, as well, if you want to read the original story. But this one's pretty good, and part one dealt mainly with Barry Allen, and he was earth hopping, basically. He winds up running so fast that he winds up on Earth 3 with this evil Justice League, but then their Earth is wiped out of existence, and it's just like, whoa, okay. And like, not only are there many, many, many Earths out there, there's an antimatter wave that's out there that's destroying them and wiping out all of existence. So all of existence is threatened here in this Justice League story. And the Monitor is a character kind of like the Watcher in Marvel Comics, very similar. Of course, DC and Marvel used to rip off each other all the time, I'm sure. But this Monitor character is, just paid to watch. Apparently, he just he just observes, the existence being wiped out, and what he does is he does gather heroes, though. He does warn them, at least. He gathers a bunch of heroes from all over, multiple Earths, and brings them in a room and says, what you gonna do about this, this anti-matter wave that's coming our way. And the heroes have a response to it, and that's they make these like strange like satellite cannons and things on multiple Earths in order to try and prevent the antimatter wave from destroying the Earth. So, catching up with part two, though, there's two characters that they focus on here, and those characters are Supergirl and Psycho Pirate. Yes. So they were both introduced, of course, already, but the characters here that they have a big role to play here in this part two. So Supergirl, Kara Zor-El, she's discovered by the Monitor, floating in space. She's the last survivor of Krypton, as far as she knows. But of course, we know Superman's out there. There's more than one Superman out there. So, so Supergirl, she's saved, and then she thinks she's trapped by the Monitor, but the Monitor's not kidnapping her or anything. She's free to go and help and save the world if she can. But she's very immature. But yeah, the bulk of this part two very much is about her. And then the Psycho Pirate, this guy named Charlie, he has the power to basically control other people's emotions, to influence people's emotions. Imagine if he was a politician. He would make a hell of a senator, right? Or a prime minister or something. Yeah, so he's got these powers, and they come into play big time into his role from the Monitor. The reason why the Monitor recruited him was to calm the people of these Earths while this is happening, this crazy event. But of course, the Psycho Pirate, when your name is Psycho Pirate, you tend to be a bad guy. And he was already all DC fans already know about the Psycho Pirate. And he's easily corrupted by his own emotions. And there's a wonderful scene involving the Psycho Pirate and another Golden Age character, but I'll get into that a little bit later, maybe. I won't spoil it. So, we've also got the Bat Family, which is really cool. We got Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis here, along with Batgirl and Robin and Nightwing or whoever else, and Earth 1 Batman is hanging out with these alternate Earth Bat Family members, and their Batman is dead, so they're all, like, hey, Batman, it's so great to see you. It's just great to see you. And Batman's like, I'm not your Batman, but anyway, it's great to see Terry McGinnis there, voiced by Will Friedle once again, so that's cool. The Monitor is Still not sure what caused this antimatter wave in the first place, but they do theorize that perhaps it's not a natural event. Maybe it's not the end of the world because of like a Big Bang kind of scenario, or an active, you know, maybe it is an active an entity or a god or something like that. Maybe it's some kind of being, like they don't know, who is it, so they're all speculating together and they're all kind of arguing, Dr. Light's arguing with the question and and things like that. What's the question doing there? Well, the question is an investigative reporter, so he's trying to figure this out himself. It's good to have him there. Anyway, so on to the next part with Supergirl, where Supergirl has to make a choice. Is she going to go out there and help or not? Because she's kind of bewildered by everything that's going on. She feels lied to, betrayed. All these things, all these emotions, right? And that's where we bring back the Psycho Pirate, who goes through his own little trial of emotions as well, with a Golden Age DC character that I won't reveal, but I mean, it doesn't take much to figure it out. He's one of my personal favorites from back then. Very cool to see all the heroes like Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, fighting along the Amazons and everything, trying to deal with the situation as it gets worse and worse and worse. Something happens in this film where, the threat is escalated, let's say, and the heroes have their hands full. But it's really, really cool to see them in action like this. And yeah, how could you not love this if you're a DC fan? So much tremendous fan service here with so many great characters that you don't see very often today in a lot of DC animated stuff. This is very much based on the 80s, therefore we see a lot of characters from that time period and since then as well. So yeah, I was very, very happy with the roster so far. Again, we've got part 3 to go, where they'll probably do even more characters or more versions of famous characters. So I can't wait for that. In conclusion, I must say Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 is a nice middle piece of this hero sandwich. It's very tasty, very, very, very good on the fan service for DC comic book fanboys like myself. It does make some changes, but the changes don't bother me. The voice cast is superb, excellent. Jensen Ackles again as Batman and so on. And, hearing Lou Diamond Phillips as the Spectre is very cool. There's a lot of great, great, great performances going on here as well that should be noted. And the design, the animation, sound effects, and the action, everything, it's great. And it's such a huge, huge, huge threat. And it's great that we do have an animated version of this, which is a lot closer to the original storyline comic books as opposed to other stories that were different, like Crisis on Multiple Earths or whatever ones that they've done in the past. But this current Justice League Crisis trilogy, we'll call it, right? It's in 3 parts. It's fantastic, and I do recommend it for all DC superhero fans. I think that it's almost as good as it gets, right? There's little tiny things here and there that I'm kind of like, where are they going with this? If you like Supergirl, if you like the Psycho Pirate, definitely, you're gonna like the Psycho Pirate. He's a really cool character, I think. That's just my opinion. Who knows? But I'm gonna give Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 a 9 out of 10. Yeah, couldn't stop watching. Didn't want to look at my phone, even though I'm at home on the couch, right? But I still, nope, not looking at the phone. This is too good for a DC fan. All right, guys, and I can't wait for next part. Oh my God, part 3. Oh, I'll be reviewing that as well. All right, thanks so much for tuning into this little review, and until next time, guys, peace.